Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. The world's richest man, Elon Musk, the guy who essentially bought Donald Trump in an election, the guy who regularly reposts racist and fascist conspiracy theories, who holds no elected office and no Senate-confirmed position, contra the U.S. Constitution, who regularly talks on the phone with foreign leaders of America's adversaries, whose business interests around the globe make him a walking, talking intelligence risk. That man cashed in on his MAGA investment in a new way today. This morning, he arrived at the Pentagon like it's one of his subsidiaries, like one of the many companies he runs, welcomed by Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth to receive, according to multiple reports, classified briefings on the workings of the most powerful military in human history. Multiple officials told the New York Times yesterday Hegseth and two top admirals were set to present Musk with details on the U.S. plan to counter China in the event of a military conflict between the two countries. According to the Times, it was unclear what the impetus was for providing Musk such a sensitive briefing. Trump and Hegseth both called the story fake news, but shortly after their denials, the Wall Street Journal confirmed it with their sources. Musk to receive top-secret briefing on U.S. war plans for China. The Trump team denied those reports, but as they started to get blowback, why on earth Musk would have access to this classified briefing, Trump then insisted he didn't clear Musk to see the United States' top-secret contingency plans for a possible future war with China.
You guys are denying this New York Times report that Elon Musk was going to be shown a 20 to 30-page presentation about a theoretical war plan against China. Why not just show it to Elon?
Because I don't want to show it to anybody.
Okay. So still, Musk spent 90 minutes today with Hegseth at the Pentagon. You can see them shaking hands as Musk left. He reportedly told the defense secretary, if there's anything I can do to be helpful, I'd like to see you. Moments later, when a reporter asked what the two had discussed, the billionaire responded, why should I tell you? Afterwards, Hegseth joined Trump in the Oval Office, where they gave contradictory statements about how Musk was a true blue patriotic American and also a deeply conflicted businessman with overseas interests who can't be trusted with American war plans.
I don't want to show that to anybody, but certainly you wouldn't show it to a businessman who is helping us so much. He's a great patriot. He's paying a big price for helping us cut costs, and he's doing a great job. He's finding tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse. But I certainly wouldn't want, Elon has businesses in China, and he would be susceptible perhaps to that.
Elon Musk is a patriot. Elon Musk is an innovator. Elon Musk provides a lot of capabilities our government and our military rely on, and I'm grateful for that. We welcomed him today to the Pentagon to talk about DOGE, to talk about efficiencies, to talk about innovations. It was a great informal conversation. The rest of that reporting was fake. There was no war plans. There was no Chinese war plans. There was no secret plans.
I might add that I think Elon, if they ever wanted to do that, I think Elon wouldn't do it. I think he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't want to put himself in that position.
You follow all that? I think I did. Like, it was all fake news, but also they wouldn't do it, but also maybe they canceled it when the heat got too hot. You catch Trump's last point there? Elon would never put himself in that position. For the record, the Wall Street Journal reported that Musk, according to one person familiar, was going to receive the top-secret briefing on China because he asked for one. Nobody can say for sure if Musk's sensitive Pentagon briefings today did include Chinese war plans or what they included. Trump and Hegseth deny it. They aren't exactly the most credible sources when they just yell fake news. But here's what's interesting. This is really the key point. All of this sort of weird back and forth, self-contradictory sort of, oh, no, we would never do that. Those denials do show they do understand the problem here, right? Like even Donald Trump, it would not sit well with most Americans because, as Donald Trump notes, Elon's business in China makes it a gargantuan conflict of interest. China is the second largest market for Musk's Tesla car business. Did you know that? Do you know that Musk has multiple Tesla factories in China, including the company's largest production facility in the world, which you can see in this video, produced by China's state-run media company? Okay? That facility produced half of all Tesla cars in the world last year. Musk has staked Tesla's future on its operations in China.
People should not be burning cars of any kind. Now the Trump administration is taking this personally. I mean, listen to Donald Trump in the Oval Office saying essentially, that this is worse. This is the worst thing that he's heard of since January 6th.
When I looked at those showrooms burning and those cars, not one or two, like 7, 8, 10 burning, exploding all over the place. These are terrorists. You didn't have that on January 6th.
I'm sorry.
I shouldn't
be laughing.
January 6th?
Look, so what better way to start the morning than Saturday morning than with George over here? What better way to start it? But to your point, though, so I am one of those. Everybody needs to be able to denounce these type of attacks on Tesla dealerships, the harassment that people who own Teslas, like all of that stuff, it should be condemned. There shouldn't be any wiggle room about that. I am less concerned, though, about Tesla stocks. That's just me. And I know a lot of people are more concerned about that. I'm not.
Including the Commerce Secretary.
Including the Commerce Secretary. But I think that, of course, this is Donald Trump's guy. So now everybody, many Republicans and conservatives who weren't exactly EV friendly are now EV friendly.
Yeah.
But I did want to say, to just piggyback off of what Alyssa was saying, is that, and I've also said that Elon Musk would be a problem, not just for Donald Trump, though, but for the Republican Party. And I think that we're seeing this now. And this isn't the first set of polls that have shown that Elon Musk's popularity is going down. But I was looking at, Fox News did a poll today of the top 5 administration proposals. None of them are about efficiency when it comes to DOGE.
Yeah.
So even with Fox News.
And in that same Fox poll this week, they asked, how concerned are you that not enough thought and planning has gone into government spending cuts? 65% say they are concerned. Americans don't want bloated government. They actually don't mind cuts. But they don't think that these are being done in a way that is coherent and rational.
This could have been the biggest win for the Trump administration because nobody likes the size of government and government inefficiency. But, Donald Trump's great gift is empathy. He is able to somehow tap in emotionally to his supporters. And Elon Musk has said that empathy is a bug in civilization, and we shouldn't have it. I mean, this is the least empathetic, compassionate, he's not quite a public official, but public person who's been in government that I can remember. And, since I don't support a lot of the policies that he's actually pushing forward, I'm delighted. This is exactly the wrong face of government reform.
And can I just say just quickly, just because Alyssa, you talked about he won't be around long. I just want to remind everybody, as a special government employee, he has 130 days to serve within a calendar year. I've said many times before, I think that after the 130 days, Elon Musk will be gone.
It is a convenient out, right? We know that Trump doesn't care a lot about the niceties of the law. He could just go over it if he wants, but I agree, this is a perfect way for him to get out of it.
Musk has also forced Trump into some boxes. He started talking about impeaching the judges, forcing the Chief Justice to put out a statement saying, this is not how you disagree with something that happens in the courts. He, this week, reportedly was supposed to get a briefing at the Pentagon Department about China. Trump then had to say that it would be inappropriate for him to do that, and perhaps they scrapped the plans. So there are a lot of ways that Musk is inserting himself in the Trump administration, trying to throw his weight around. And then Trump has to clean up.
Yeah, he's gotten over his skis. And listen, Donald Trump is somebody with main character energy. He does not want someone else who's overstepping him, who's trying to outshine him, who's trying to step into the role that he has. And I worked at the Pentagon in the first Trump administration. The notion that a special government employee, never mind his, defense contracts, would be briefed on war plans to China. These are the most sensitive plans. We have them, but you wouldn't even publicly acknowledge that we have plans in case something were to happen with China. That is ridiculous. And I think how quickly the Trump White House, they called Hegseth in, they pushed back on it, shows that they recognize that was a massive overstep. Whether it took place or not, I don't know, but I will say that Eric Schmidt was on that byline, the most plugged-in Pentagon reporter at the New York Times, who definitely was getting that from somewhere senior.
Joining me now to further the discussion, we have Sabrina Singh, former Deputy Press Secretary at the Pentagon, along with Democratic strategist and Columbia professor Basil Smikle, and Brendan Buck, former Press Secretary to House Speaker John Boehner, both of whom are MSNBC political analysts. Sabrina, you first. Did any meetings happen during the Biden administration at the DOD that the public did not hear about that seemed similar to this one? I mean, how unusual is it that Elon Musk has a meeting there?
Yeah, I'm certainly not aware of any meetings with someone like an Elon Musk happening under the previous administration. And I think this is so exceptional that even that, this is in the conversation, that he would be briefed on the Pentagon's O plans, which are our operational war plans for any type of, contingency or potential war with an adversary. And I think, even though he is a special government employee, this is still a private citizen that has deep ties to China, including with some of, the Tesla parts that come from China. And so for him to be briefed, or even being considered to be briefed on some of these plans, is a huge conflict of interest that certainly would not have happened under the previous administration.
And to your point, that is exactly what the New York Times has reported, that it was this O, that's what you call it, an O plan, that's a war plan. It's been quickly denied by Donald Trump, as well by Secretary Hegseth. Trump said if China was brought up, we heard him say Musk would leave. What's plausible here? What do you believe?
Well, look, I think it's hard to imagine anyone walking out of a room, particularly Elon Musk. It's kind of hard to believe what he would do in that situation. At the end of the day, Elon Musk is a very smart businessman that is, I think, invested in his bottom line, and his company is doing well. This is also someone that has billions of dollars in DoD contracts. So, would he have walked out of the room? I find that hard to believe. I think, being in a room like that, it's being reported that he still received a briefing from the Indo-Pacific commander, Admiral Paparo. That's not something that other businesses got that day. So I think he would certainly have a leg up on any innovations or thought processes that the Navy or, other services would have that, would give him a competitive advantage. And that's why there's this conflict of interest. And that's why, the reporting on this was so concerning.
So you say that it's confirmed that he did meet with the admiral who would be in charge of.
What you're seeing here is the seeds of conflict between Trump and Musk and the Republican Party. Because all of this is going bad, and Elon's failures are becoming a real weight around the neck of Donald. And as we know, Donald will defend some of his cronies. He has in the past, but he'll only defend them so long as it serves his direct interests, and he will never take blame himself. Never. He would throw anyone under the bus, his staff, his advisors, allies in Congress, his family if needed. No one is safe. Remember the whole thing Michael Cohen used to say? There was this discussion about, oh man, if somebody has to go to jail, it's not going to be me, Donald. I'll send Don Jr. to jail first, and then if I have to, I'll send Ivanka because he likes her better. But, the idea was that Don Jr., he had a plan about how to sort of throw his children under the bus. So if they're not safe, Elon isn't either. And Elon is hurting Trump. Now, look, I'm not saying Elon is blameless. Elon's a gigantic idiot. His idiocy rivals Donald Trump, right? To be perfectly honest. But if Trump thinks Elon's the only reason or even the main reason why things are failing, and it's not his own policies, his own approach to Canada, his own tariffs and all that, which he'd be doing even if Elon wasn't there, he is delusional. And this fight is only going to get worse as they drag each other down. The only man that can destroy Trump in some ways is Elon, and the only man that can destroy Elon is Trump, and they're going to do it to each other.